So good afternoon, everyone. I've been working on this really pretty floral painting, roses and some other kind of flowers in there. I hope you've all had a really good day. So I thought what we'd do is just continue on with some of these flowers. So we're going to I'm doing wet on each flower and the leaves. So I've got those kind of colors going on. I thought what I'd do is come into this viridian color. It's always so pretty with wet on wet or just whatever. It's such a pretty color. So I thought we would, I'm using a round brush. And as I said, I'm doing wet on wet. That came out really pretty. Sometimes it just, you get a little... Okay, I'm going to take some of that paint off. It's okay if some of the paint was red when I watered it because that's the color I'm using. So we're going to, use that color and we're going to mix. Oh, that's a really pretty color. Okay. I mix colors on my palette, and I mix them all the time, actually. And I just put the vermilion with a deep red that I have, and wow, that's pretty. Sometimes you just get, these awesome blends that you're just like, oh, wow, I couldn't have done that if I tried, on purpose. So that's really nice. So I'm going to use that for this particular flower. Coming in now with taking some paint off, lightening up some of the areas and moving it around a little. Come down here and do the same thing. Now, these I use the, regular type of blending techniques and so forth, but each one of us all, does our own thing within the painting. So, I keep grabbing that first, and I don't want to do that because I do want wet on wet. So we're going to bring some water over here. What I'm doing is, I'm sorry, I had to pause that for a minute to get some water, get a drink. So what I'm doing here is I am doing the wet on wet technique. That's what I was trying to say, and I think I have already said that. So don't mind me. I've had a very busy week and then a busy weekend, and although I feel like painting, I'm kind of tired. So I don't know. We'll just go for it here and see what happens. But I will say that this is an incredibly pretty red. Really, really pretty red. So we'll just go with it and we'll move it around, soften it out, all those things that we do. And the reason why I'm skipping, as you can see here, I'm skipping each flower and going to the next one instead of the one right next to it is because I've got certain blends going on and I don't want, all the blends to mix. So that's why I'm doing that. Now I'm just taking some out. And though I have some red on it, I'm just going to add the water here with the red on it. And simply because I didn't take it off first. And that's just fine. No harm, no foul. We're just going to keep on going. Now that grabbed a little more of the viridian, which is an orangey kind of color. I'd like to get some of that orangey vermilion in here. So I'll go back in with some of that and add that into my color. And I just keep seeming to grab too much red. Okay. I'll get some of that vermilion. Well, anyways, I like a lot of different variations anyway, so we'll keep going. We'll keep going with this. It's turning out nice, so that's the main thing. It's just really pretty color blends here. All right. Well, I hope that you guys have all had a good day today, whatever it was you did. Very windy here. It's in the 50s though, so it's not too bad, you know. Doesn't feel all that bad. So I guess I'm gonna, and leaving the white space, as you see. I meant to leave more of a white space here, but I didn't, so that's okay. And then we're just gonna blend a little bit of that one. You know, that's really pretty. We'll come down here, even though it's wet. We'll come down here and we'll grab, let this color move around here. So just letting it move around. And I think what I'm going to do is take the vermilion color and add it to the centers here, towards the center part. And then kind of smooth it out a little. When I say smooth it out, what I do is I take some paint off my brush, dry it up a bit, and then go in and soften the edges, basically, to blend the colors a little bit more. So let's see here. Looks like we've got to get, for some reason I lost my drawing in this, but that's okay. Not a problem at all. So I'm going to just continue on here with this beautiful, beautiful floral painting here. It's turning out nicely. I'm liking it very much. But I do need to have, I'm not quite sure what I need to add in here. So I'm going to take some of this, well, it's kind of like a, what do you want to call it? Oh, what is that? Burgundy. It's like a burgundy. So I like the defined, you know, we have to define some edges here. So it's not just one big blob of color. You know, we've got to have some sort of distinction of the sides of the flowers and so forth. So that's a little bit better. Okay. Well, those colors turned out quite pretty. Soften it out a little. Kind of lost my, there we go. And then I'm going to come over here to the sepia. And even though it's wet, I'm going to, you know, get some water on my brush, dry it off to some degree. Well, it looks like I need to wet the sepia a little bit, but I'm going around the outside edges like this and moving my way in like in a circular motion. Okay, and then I'm going to go back into it and I'm just going to make these, I'm going to flick these lines, small one, long one, short, long, like that. So I have some from the first video I did at the beginning of this, and I have quite a few blends on my palette, actually. So we're just going to kind of use what I had already going, see what it does. I'm going to make, one of the lines, use one of the colors to just sort of add the lines. And as you can see in this one, I had added some pink. So I'm going to come back in here and add some more of that pink. It's pretty to add the same colors that you have going on in your painting in the flowers into the leaves. As I've mentioned before, it brings harmony into the painting. So I think I want to add a little more here. That's pretty, I think. Soften some edges a little bit here, very delicately. And then I want to get, I lost my lines. So we want to get some more lines, or indications of lines, put it that way. I really wished I knew what color I wanted to make this, but we're going to come in here and just to indicate some foliage underneath in the middle here. And what I'm going to do is, I actually want to get some darker. We want this to be dark so that the lighter colors of the flowers will stand out. But it's just indications of foliage. And going in between these white places to give an indication of the foliage. And that's pretty. I'm using the round brush. So we got it like that. Okay. Now I use a lot of times in my, if I can find it, let's see here. I use acrylic whites, and I put my acrylics into these containers with covers so I don't get them mixed up with my watercolor. But for some reason, and I don't know why, I'm not seeing my white. So I'm going to try see if I can make this work. The watercolor white, good enough for what I'm looking to do here. Sometimes you can use whatever white you want. Sometimes I use watercolor white. Sometimes I use acrylic white. Sometimes I use Chinese white. It kind of all depends on the effect you want. But that's good. I actually like that. That came out when when you didn't get the whites in of the paper that you had planned. You can always go into the whites and use them. There is nobody that's going to tell you you can't. And if they do, well, basically they're full of baloney, because nowadays there's a lot of things we can do that we, didn't used to be able to do, or used to think we could do. We just, there was all these rules, and, things evolve. People discover things that work in the place of things that did not. Now this right now, this color that I absolutely love, is an acrylic color, and it is called Indian Yellow. And I am mixing it in with my watercolor florals here, and choosing to use this color because I just love this color. It's such a beautiful color, and it works really well for watercolor, to mix with watercolor. It just depends. I don't use very much. I don't wet it too much, but I get enough water in it to be able to move it around. As you can see, works quite nicely. Now I meant to leave more of a white space there, and I meant to leave more one, and it comes out quite nicely. So we're just going to continue to go around this sort of half flower here that I'm wetting first, and like I said, going into the Indian yellow to use for this color of this flower. I'm going to go around, and I want some lighter areas and some darker areas. And that's pretty. I'm actually going to add a little orange, I think, to define some edges with it, because they look pretty together. The orange is watercolor. Again, the Indian yellow is acrylic. And this is all within the same painting. So now you know it can work together, in case somebody told you it couldn't. And you just have to, you know, you just have to be able to like the desired effect. If you don't, simply don't use it. It's really that simple. Don't stress out with painting. Painting should be something that brings you joy, that is stress less. And if somebody's bringing, you know, stress into it for you, then, you know, just forget it. Don't listen, because number one, artists are artists. In other words, this is my painting. So I am choosing to do what I want to choose to do in this painting. When you do your painting, the same thing. You choose what you want to do, how you want to do it, and go for it. Oh, I really like that. That color came out so nice. You know, I actually like it better than I had just sepia, but I'm liking the green that I am adding in with it. That's very nice. Okay, little happy accidents. And then I'm taking the tip of my brush and I am flicking long lines and short lines. Long, short, long, short. There we go. That's really pretty. And that color goes really nice with the rest of these colors. And those are things that, you know, you yourself will choose, you know, just because I'm using these colors, you may not like that combination, so you choose your own colors. Usually I have so many people that ask me, how did I get that blend or this blend or whatever? And so basically, you know, I basically tell them that it's what it is, which is I blend a lot on my palette, and then I just see these beautiful blends that I know will go pretty here or go pretty there, and I use them. And, you know, everybody does their own thing. Excuse me, hiccups. Okay, I'm adding a little sepia into this to darken that little area up a little bit. Take a little bit out. Actually going to add some of that Indian yellow that I just used. So you see how that will now enhance both the flower and the leaf, because they're in harmony now. Beautiful. It's just, watercolor is the most magical, incredibly magical medium I have ever had the privilege of using. I have a video that talks about my, because I painted with acrylic paint for years. Over 40 years I painted with acrylic paints. But yet I always wanted to do watercolor, but I just totally convinced myself year after year, no, there's no way I could do. I don't understand it. It looks so... Plus, I always thought, you know, it's just the water. I didn't even know that I could do something like this, and it would look, you know, it wouldn't have to be just all like this super washy stuff. So, I mean, you know, I didn't do it. Ridiculous. I mean, literally ridiculous. Um, and why I would think that is, you know, really totally beyond me. So my whole point in saying that is that if you have the desire, please, please, just go for it. Just go for it. And you may find that you love it so much, which I have a funny feeling that if you have the desire and you go and apply yourself, you'll find the same thing. Mind you, it all takes time. At first, the best thing to do really is practice. So you don't discourage yourself. A great thing to do is to do the practice things, and I have plenty of those that you could look at, and so don't quite a few other people. So there's no reason that you can't, you know, find something to start out by practicing, and that will, you know, basically tell you, do I, you know, let's see, do you like the whole idea of watercolor, or don't you? But don't try to figure that out the very first time you ever, you know, apply yourself to watercolor. Give yourself some time, do some practices, and then decide. Because it takes a bit. It's a different medium. It works differently, totally differently than the acrylic that I used to do. I mean, that's totally. So, you know, I had to, I didn't have, by the time I got to it, I already knew that I'd be going to be doing it because I told myself that I would be teaching myself to do it. But before that, I didn't do that. I didn't just try it, which is my bad. So just trying to, you know, kind of tell you guys, don't do that. If you have the interest, just try it. I could say that I wasted a lot of years, but I'm not going to say that because I loved acrylic paintings, sold them, paintings, gave paintings away, kept some paintings. I mean, you know, so it's not anything that was a loss of any kind. It's just that I could have been doing this a whole lot sooner than what I am now. So that's more of what I'm getting at, you know. All right, I think probably, I don't like my videos to go too long either, so whoops, kind of delved into some of that sepia. But I wanted to get a little more, it's not really the color I wanted though. Okay, let's just, we can make it work here. Grab some of this orange. That's more of the color I was looking for, the orange. And soften some areas like this. Soften them around. All right, leave that alone before I mess it up completely. Except that I do want to go into some white because I didn't leave enough of the white where I wanted it. I'm going to come in with some of these white colors here and add it in where I want to add it in for highlights. All right, so this video is going a bit too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it again at this one, at this. I'll probably finish it offline, or I might come back to finish it off with you in a third video. That's probably what I'll do because I really want you to see the finished version of this. This to me has come out really beautiful. I'm really quite happy with this. And that happens a lot of times, but not always. When I really take my time with something, sometimes I take my time and it doesn't come out that great at all. And then sometimes it comes out wonderful. So, I mean, it's really all, it's just happenstance. Because sometimes I'll spend a lot of time and people like something more that I spent hardly any time on. So I never know. I just paint. See what happens. That just happened to me lately, actually. A painting that I literally just flew through. I was just, I wasn't for anything special, just something I was doing during the week, posted it, and I didn't think it was that great. Really, it was pretty, but, well, geez, everybody loved that thing. So you never know. But I do hope you're liking. I think this is just absolutely stunning. I'm loving this so far. I have the other one, the first one that you can check out too, where I started. I did this rose by itself because I was trying to figure out how I wanted the rose. So I did that by myself, and then I came in and I did some other flowers and so forth, and then this one I'm doing more, and then the third one, last one, I will finish it with you guys. And you can, I drew it out first, and then I painted it. So you can do anything else you want. You can leave out the rose, leave out one of the flowers, leave out some of these leaves, change it over to whatever kind of flowers you want to put in here. So make it your own, make your painting, or just use this to watch, to learn, which is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So check out my other stuff, people. I love it when you come and visit my channel. Say hi and tell me you're there, or like and subscribe. And keep tuning in for more beautiful, beautiful paintings. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and bye for now.